Oh, hey there. I'm on a tightrope 40 feet above the ground, and underneath me is a pit of agitated rattlesnakes, so I kind of got to concentrate here a little bit. Okay, I'm not, and I wasn't, but imagine if I was, or if you were. How carefully would each step need to be taken? How much care would we give as we placed our feet? Now, I want you to transfer that concept to the way that we're instructed to live our life in Christ. Ephesians 4 starts like this. I therefore, the prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Now, typically, when we see something about walking worthy, the initial response is, oh, I could never do that. But the truth is, Jesus has given us everything we need to live out the life that He's called us to. And it's absolutely critical, though, that we understand and embrace that the Christ life is radically different than what we've known before. And what we will know, or what we'll generally see lived out by the population around us. It's to live life in such a way that it'd be true, like was said about the early church, that people knew that the disciples had been with Jesus. They acted like Him. They smelled like Him, as it were. The aroma of Christ was on them. And so Paul here in Ephesians 4 is begging followers of Jesus, I urge you, I plead with you, to not just give a casual mental assent to taking up our cross every day and following Jesus, but to be committed to living that out, to walk worthy, appropriately, consistently with that calling. Now he goes on here to give us a few examples. He talks about humility, following the example of Jesus as He refused to hang on to His rightful heavenly position, to not demand that He keep those glories that were His in heaven. And as we're told elsewhere, to not think of ourselves more highly than we ought to. And then gentleness, as opposed to being harsh and demanding, looking for a better way to talk about things that need to be talked about, hard conversations. Then patience, being willing to give people the length of rope that we would like to have ourselves. And then he talks about love, accepting that we all have uniquenesses, oddities to be more precise. And for the sake of love, at times we just put up with each other, all for the sake of showing Christ's love to one another. And then he talks about unity here, being committed to it, absolutely committed to the body that Christ died to create, and that He died in order to make us one. Now this will involve rejecting the desire to stand off at a distance and snipe. You know what snipers do, they destroy from a distance. And there are people that just want to stand off and gripe and complain and criticize the ones who are actually doing the work. But instead, we surrender the cause of Christ in doing our best to show Him accurately to the world. This is some of what goes into making every one of our steps matter, not just for now, but for eternity. Now, you're going to be discussing these and more in your small groups as you dig deeper into Ephesians 4. So, for this week, happy digging and happy growing as we think more about walking worthy.